Alright, what's up guys, and today we got a Vegeta guide. This one I'm going to be dubbing the Vanish build. This is a super strong build. It's super fun to play. Everything about it just synergizes with one another as far as the skills and the skill cards. We're going to break down a lot of stuff here. I'm going to show you how to properly use each skill, how to pair your skills up together for max efficiency, and just a whole bunch of stuff. And finally, at the end, before we get into the gameplay, I'm going to be showing you his bread and butter combo that if you get this off on an enemy in-game, they are pretty much guaranteed to die. It does so much damage, and it gives you so much survivability, it is actually crazy. So, first things first, let's take a look at his cards. So, first one you're going to want to be getting is Lightning Swift. What this does is give you an increased damage for about 2 seconds after using a vanishing step. This one is super important, and you'll see why in just a moment. Next one is a toss-up between Giant Slayer and Prepare to Die. I've actually been playing with Giant Slayer quite a bit. I was using Prepare to Die. I can't decide between the two. Try them out for yourself. I'm going to be experimenting further, and I'll actually leave a comment down below saying which one takes the cake once I've gotten more time between the two. But for now, I'm using Giant Slayer. You can do whatever you want. This is the least important card on the list, so don't look too much into it. Because the next one is another very important one. We got Limit Breaking Jump. This just gives us a extra vanishing step, which is crucial for this build. And already you can see some synergy with Lightning Swift and the Double Vanish. So, saying that, let's just talk about his skills real quick. One of your best skills is Energy Blast Volley. This does massive damage, and it's giving you armor, and by the time I can even finish this sentence, it's already back off on cooldown. This thing has such a fucking quick cooldown, does such good damage. Like, this is your baby. You can, if you're a spammer, you can spam the hell out of this. There's a one caveat to that though, and you'll see what I mean in a little bit. Great ability, always use it. It's amazing. Another two abilities here. We got the Photon Bomber. It's going to lock people in place. Another great ability, it stops people from running, it sets you up for damage, does a lot of stuff, and you'll see in-game how I can use this to my advantage in the best ways possible. The last ability we have is Explosive Wave here. Huge damaging, well, not huge damage, but a huge blast radius that's going to knock players back and give you a significant amount of armor back. So very important for survivability here. It's a good utility tool. These last two abilities, you're not going to be spamming like you are with Energy Blast Volley. So, something to think about when you're using an ability like Explosive Wave. Let's say that the enemy's lane is going this way, our lane is going that way. You're going to want to get behind the enemy and use Explosive Wave to push towards your team. Push them away from their healing zones as much as you can, as much as humanly possible. Use your Double Vanish as your as some extra utility to get this Explosive Wave off. Meaning that if say they're already trying to retreat or you're anticipating them to retreat, do a Double Vanish, blow them back. Make sure they don't get out of your range. Make sure you don't just vanish once. I mean, if you think you can get it off in one vanish, go for it. But better safe than sorry. If you need to, Double Vanish and let this explode, because it's just gonna make the enemy team panic. They're gonna be way farther than they want to be from their healing zone. And you can get off a lot of free damage and probably secure a kill if you use this correctly. So, obviously, a good follow-up would be the Photon Bomber. That's just going to lock people in place, so they're going to have a really hard time getting pushed back with your Explosive Wave and being stuck in place with the Photon Bomber. I secured so many kills doing this. And just as a side note, don't always use the Double Vanish. You don't want to just waste it. But, again, you'll see when you're playing with this build when you should use the Double Vanish and when not to. It'll be pretty obvious to you once you get some experience down. But yeah, another good thing to do is you can use your super attack into the Photon Bomber to lock them into place. A lot of times it depends on the situation where you want to throw down the super first or the Photon Bomber. Again, experience is going to tell you when to do this, but it's okay to also do this into the super. I find it a lot of times, though, than not, I do like doing the super first into the Photon Bomber, but again, it's very situational. You'll get the experience and know when to do when. But that's a little bit of his synergy as terms of his skills go. But now we're going to bring it all together and show you what it's going to look like if everything goes correctly and you have a pitch perfect fight. This is what it's going to look like. We're going to break down the combo, but I'm just going to show you it straight up right now. Alright, and that was the combo. Now, hopefully that didn't look too intimidating. It's really nothing to it, but there are small details that you might miss if you don't know what you're looking at. Before we even say anything about that, of course, you can follow up with your super after the explosive wave, so something like this. Now let's really break this thing down. I'm going to hold your hand as we go through each step and explain to you why we're using these skills when we do, and little things to look out for. So, we're opening up with the Energy Blast Volley. Into that Vanish, and we want to wait the full 2 seconds. That way we're getting the proc off of our Lightning Swift. Remember, that does extra damage 2 seconds after a Vanish. Now, you can sit there and count for 2 seconds. 1, 2. But if you notice something, Energy Blast Volley, when you use it, it has a 4-second cooldown, and it finishes in about 2 seconds, leaving you about 2 seconds more for it to come back online fully. So keep your eye on this real quick as we vanish. We just vanished, and we need to wait 2 seconds. Now, if you noticed, by the time this comes back online, it's actually been 2 seconds. If you want to be safe and get that extra little bit of damage, you can wait like a half a second. So something like this, or half a moment. It's online, now do it. So if you want to like be picky and do it like that, go ahead. But that is a good rule of thumb of when to do it, because we want all of our extra damage from the vanishes. So, volley, into vanish, into volley, into vanish. Now when that's back online, we're doing an explosive wave to back them off. And remember, we want to do it in a location where they're being pushed away from their team, away from their healing zones, and into ours. So let's say it's over there. Energy wave, vanish. Energy wave, vanish, explosive wave, photon, into our energy wave again, and now we're stuck to them like glue. Into the blasts again, and rinse, wash, repeat. So hopefully that makes sense for you, and obviously you can throw in your super like I talked about. And I want you to keep something in mind that you're not always going to be able to get these off perfectly. Sometimes you need to speed things up because the fight's not going in your way, or you see something, maybe your team's in danger, maybe you're in danger. If you're getting hard focused and your health is going down way faster than you anticipated, you can skip a step and simply do something like this. Your energy waves, you're in, you wait your 2 seconds, then you go right for explosive wave. Photon, energy waves, and bam, you're back in there. So again, it's basically the same thing as our bread and butter, but we just skipped a step. You only want to do your bread and butter combo for max damage when everything's going your way. You're not at risk of dying, the fight's already going in your favor, and you're just going to seal the deal by getting off all your skills like that. So again, things aren't going our way. We're waiting our 2 seconds. Get off me. Stay there. Do damage. And attack. Alright, now let's take a look at what this combo is going to look like if you are engaged in melee range first and you don't have the luxury of opening with your Energy Blast Volley from a range. The first thing I want you to think about is your opponent spamming skills? Meaning that as soon as you're engaged in combat, are they throwing out beams at you? Are they throwing out their skill points? If they are, it's a good idea just to open up with a Vanish. Go right behind them and try to make them whiff the first skill. This is a good tactic to use in general, especially if you're noticing that they're skill spammer and stuff like that. They're not trying to bait you out or anything. They're just launching their skills. Start the combat off with a Vanish. Get behind them. Wait the 2 seconds and let it rip from there. Or you can try to bait their skills off if you notice they're not really spamming their stuff. Do a couple attacks. Let's say we engage in combat. Boom, boom, boom. Vanish. Wait 2 seconds. You're just going to have to count because you don't have the luxury of your energy blast. So, boom, boom, vanish. Let's say 1, 2, energy volley, into vanish. Now we can wait for our cooldown. We explode, photon, energy volley, and then vanish on them. Maybe even double vanish if you need to, okay? Obviously, you can use your super, just like we talked about in the other one. And again, for this bread and butters that I'm teaching you guys, it's not always going to work out. Sometimes you're going to jump into combat and you want to use your photon bomber right away. Maybe you got enemies running away, you joined combat late, your teammates have gotten people low, and you need to throw out that photon bomber to stop them from running. Go ahead and do it, and then let everything else flow naturally. Maybe you notice that they might retreat soon because you have the edge. Get in front of them, use your explosive wave, lock them down, and then look, we're just going to naturally go into the combo. Waiting 1, 2 seconds, we're doing this, we're vanishing, right in 1-2 seconds. We're using this. We're vanishing. 1, 2. Now the explosive wave is up. Okay. Boom. Boom. Into this. You see how we just naturally went into our combo? Even though everything was offbeat, we flowed back into the combo. So it's just a rule of thumb to go to. Again, if you have the perfect combat scenario and you get this all off, like without even having to think, because your team, the enemy is down bad, they're maybe not even good players, whatever it may be, you got this combo off perfectly, you're more than guaranteed to win the fight. It's just that strong. So let's get into some gameplay. I'm going to show you what it's like in a real time scenario. Yeah, let's check it out.